Even though poverty rates are much higher in urban centers than in suburbs today, there are more poor people numerically in suburbs than in cities. And that demographic shift, or that shift in the geography of poverty, has not just important consequences for scholarship, but it really has profound implications for how we provide safety net assistance. I'm Scott Allard. I'm the Daniel J. Evans Endowed Professor of Social Policy at the Evans School of Public Policy and Governance, University of Washington. I'm a political scientist by training, but most of my work today focuses on issues of place, poverty, and the provision of safety net assistance in the United States. My time as a visiting scholar at Russell Sage will provide me the opportunity to think about the role that spatial context plays in family well-being and in economic mobility. There's mounting evidence that residential location has a large effect on economic mobility in adult years. And there's growing evidence that safety net program provision, early childhood education programs, and human services vary quite a bit from place to place. What we don't have a good sense of is how that variation matters to household well-being, to program participation, and to economic mobility throughout the life course. We're really only starting to understand how variation in safety net provision, or early childhood education, or human services affects household well-being and economic mobility. So the work I'm engaged with seeks to understand how the spatial context of social assistance broadly defined matters in the lives of children and families. And understanding how residential or spatial context matters is important to a variety of scholarly disciplines and professional fields. I think the answers to these questions help us think about the mechanisms through which racial and class segregation affect a variety of outcomes throughout the life course. I think they're also relevant to policymakers and to practitioners on the ground who are constantly trying to find better ways to do work and understand how to better connect populations in need with supports and assistance. I'll be working with a team of colleagues to think about how early childhood education provision is related to preschool enrollment and child readiness at kindergarten and maybe some other educational outcomes downstream. I'm also working with another team of colleagues to think about how safety net provision is related to place level variation in economic mobility. And both those projects will probably yield journal articles or papers. And I think over my time here, I'll be bringing all this work together to think about a larger book project that will explore the relationship between the provision of social assistance, family well-being, and economic mobility. My book, Places in Need, came out through Russell Sage Foundation Press a few years ago, and it explored the suburbanization of poverty in America. Much of the capacity of the safety net to help people in need is concentrated in cities, and suburbs lack capacity in government programs and in nonprofit programs broadly.